What's the biggest bullet you've ever dodged? 1. In 2005, my friend and I evacuated New Orleans 2 days before Hurricane Katrina and drove to Mississippi with the little money we had. We were trying to decide where to stay for the night, and it was between a mid-range hotel or a really cheap motel. We decided to spend a little more for the hotel. During the night, the eye of the storm came through Mississippi and flattened the roof of the motel. We made the right choice. 2. I was booked on Pan Am Flight 103, which went down over Lockerbie, Scotland. I didn't have a premonition or anything supernatural, I just decided to cancel my seat. I didn't think much of it until the plane went down. My mother had written down my flight plan and reminded me. This was back in the day when you could cancel without a penalty up to a couple of days in advance. 3. Physically, I dodged a bus. I grew up in Bermuda, and since it's such a small island, cars are limited to one per family, and everyone drives mopeds. I was driving into town and came up to a red light behind a bus. As is tradition, I scooted around the bus to be at the front of the line of traffic. Literally 2 seconds later, a second bus smashed into the back of the first bus at like 30 miles per hour. I would have been pancaked without question, 100% dead. I just sat on the side of the road for a bit and thought about my mortality. 4. I had 2 job offers in different states at the same time. The one I didn't take was offering more money, but I just didn't gel with the guy who would be my boss. I really liked the guy who would be my boss at the lower offer. The better offer was in a state I had always wanted to live in, for a company I admired, but something felt off, so I went with the lower offer. I ended up meeting my wife in the city where the lower offer was. Meanwhile, the company that had given me the higher offer abruptly closed and laid off their entire staff with no severance. If I had taken that, I would have been stuck on the other side of the country with no job and no money. 5. There was a time I didn't go along for the ride when a friend of mine was running weed years ago, back when it was more illegal. I was bored and unemployed at the time but passed on the trip because I had a job interview to be a zombie for Halloween festivities at an amusement park. I got the job. My friend got arrested and did 30 days in jail. 6. Once at a bar, a woman was surprisingly into me as we danced. If I'd had more confidence back then, I definitely could have taken her home. In the end, one of my karaoke buddies ended up with her instead and got caught by her husband that night.